Your dating life is probably one of the areas that's been impacted the most by being raised by a single mother. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that is the area that has caused the most grief. I remember spending most of my school years developing crushes and fantasizing about girls in my class, and essentially playing out the lesser form of the Hollywood cliche where the nerdy guy falls in love with a pretty popular girl and she eventually notices him and then they end up together. So something like that was going on in my head. I wasn't quite that cringe and that naive, but I definitely wasn't far off. In fact, and this is a dark story. When I was 12, 13 years old, I had a really big crush on this one girl. And I wasn't on Facebook at the time. I didn't have her number. And she sort of knew that I was into her. We were talking in between lessons, but nothing had actually come of it. And I knew that it was her birthday this one day. So fuck man, I decide to send this girl an email writing happy birthday and attaching an e-card, like one of those electronic birthday cards, to her school email. And she opened it when she was with a guy that she was dating at the time, which I didn't even know about. She showed it to him, and apparently they had a big laugh over it. And she told a bunch of other people in my year. So the words quickly spread, and that was the talk of the town for a few weeks. And I wanted to fucking bury myself, bro. So I still can't believe I did that. So I was down pretty bad. It wasn't until around the ages of 17, 18 that I discovered the Red Pill community and some blog articles written by some of the pickup artists at the time, learning the basics of game and eye contact and how to ask a woman out, how to cold approach. And I started doing better for myself. I picked it up pretty quickly. I was meeting girls while going around my day. I was going to more parties. I'd gotten into the dating apps while I was at university. And on quite a few occasions, I had 5 or 6 dates lined up with different girls per week. And since then, I've had a couple of long term relationships, of which my current one has been going for 3 years. I want to share my 2 cents on what helped me get better with women, having been raised by a single mother, in the hope that it's also going to help you. Okay, what are the main things to focus on when you're looking to attract women into your life? First, embrace your sexual desire. You've probably not had anyone with whom you could discuss sex and intimacy growing up because it would have been awkward to hear about these things from your mother. And you might have even come up thinking that your sexual urges are wrong or shameful and that you should therefore cover them up and not reveal them to anyone. You need to understand that our sexual desire is an intrinsic part of who we are as men. It's what has motivated us to go to war, to build cities, businesses, empires over thousands of years. It's one of the most potent, if not the most potent motivator. The anticipation of the reward of sex after achieving all these things is honestly, it's a superpower. And I'll go as far as saying that if one didn't have that, a man without sexual desire is a dead man walking. I think it's equivalent to having a car and taking the engine out of it and it's got no power to run to move forward. So you really have to embrace this part of yourself and not be ashamed of it. And the thing is, women really admire and are attracted to a man who's in tune with his sexuality. Secondly, take the lead. You might have no experience with leading interactions with women and making any major decision in your life, especially if your mother was the intense type who insisted on having everything done her way and you've been raised with her ordering you around. Like me, you might have spent years of your life taking directions from your mother, which is quite a submissive state to be in. So when it comes to dating, you probably end up asking the girl what she wants to do on a date instead of proposing something yourself. Or you might be too timid to ask for her number or to ask her out on a date to begin with. The problem is that most women don't want to make the decisions in a relationship. They want to be able to relax and for you to be the guide so that they can just enjoy the date, enjoy the interaction, and be in their feminine state. And honestly, if you manage to be that guy who provides that experience for her, she'll fall at your feet. She'll respect you and be attracted to you so much more than the guy who has no direction and is always looking to her for guidance. So whenever you get the chance with a girl, provide direction instead of simply being passive. Now, of course, you don't need to be ordering her around and never ask her for her opinion. Don't be stupid with it. But get used to being the guide and taking the lead. Chances are you've grown up with a tendency to be a people pleaser and a nice guy because your mother taught you to always avoid conflict, and maybe she told you off in the past for lashing out at an injustice being done to you. So now you have this repressed aggression where you're always anxious to stand up for yourself because of the prospect of conflict. The reality is that women will test your boundaries. It's a form of shit testing. So they'll do riskier and riskier things that could annoy you just to see where your line truly is. And they often do this subconsciously, and they're not necessarily evil for it. It's just that she wants to see if you truly are that strong and secure man that you present yourself to be, and therefore a good fit for mating. Because biology hasn't changed that much, it's still an ingrained mechanism within them. For example, she might go out clubbing with her girlfriends dressed provocatively. And you really need to establish what you will and will not tolerate from a woman. So if her going out in, let's say, a low-cut top is upsetting to you, you tell her calmly, without any anger, you just say, look, I don't like you going out dressed like that. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not happy about it. And she'll either respect you enough to listen and to change outfits, or she'll kick off with you and call you controlling, manipulative, and completely gaslight you and tell you that she can do whatever she wants. And if you want my honest opinion, if this happens, you either haven't instilled enough respect, or she's been brainwashed by society to think that somehow going out almost naked to a club and insulting her partner is empowering, in which case, honestly, I wouldn't bother with the relationship. Either way, she'll respect you way more for staying true to your boundaries than caving in and not saying anything. And you'll also respect yourself more and save yourself a lot of mental anxiety. What I've found is it just takes a while and some dating experience to really understand yourself and figure out your boundaries in relationships. Because while you might be convinced you know how you'd react in a certain situation, your reaction could be completely different when you're living through it. And it's happened to me a bunch of times. So I'm a very big proponent of going out and getting some dating and relationship experience before you commit to a single woman, because then you'll understand exactly what it is that you're looking for and what you will and won't tolerate. And I want to leave you with a final piece of advice. Don't make women your mission. Like we've already discussed, women are probably the strongest motivator when it comes to men pursuing achievements and self-improvement. But they should never be our top priority. Our number one priority should always be to work and to build. Whatever career path you pursue, this is what should occupy most of your time and mental space. Because a man who doesn't work will never be fulfilled, even if he sleeps with 1,000 women. And the beautiful part is, this will ironically make you more attractive to women. You'll be admired for the results of your work, and you will also be less needy and available by default. So if a woman messages you and you reply after 6 hours, she'll think to herself, wow, this guy has a lot going on. I'm intrigued. And it will be authentic because you have so much that's keeping you busy with your work that you simply don't have time to be texting all day. So your time and presence becomes more valuable, which means she'll respect you and be more attracted to you, and she'll appreciate your attention that much more. I hope you found this video useful, and I'd love to hear about your own experiences in the comments. As always, you can join our school community and our free Discord server using the links in the description, as well as booking a one-to-one coaching call with me. Please like and subscribe. It massively helps the channel, and it makes sure that you don't miss more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.